Hello and welcome to Storytelling Through Artwork. I'm Matt, I'm a writer.
And I'm Lee, I'm an illustrator and comic book artist.
Yeah, and together we are building our own sci-fi fantasy epic. Series, called Surviving Talamh. I am writing the novel of Surviving Talamh, and Lee is creating a comic book version of that novel. And with this series, we're going to go through the things that inspired us, everything that's influenced us from our favourite stories.
And we're going to start with possibly our favourite story.
Possibly.
Definitely our favourite story.
Definitely our favourite story, which is Final Fantasy VII. So we are going to welcome you to the city of Mako, the city of Midgar. So good locations in stories should feel like characters themselves, I think. And I think Midgar is one of the best examples in any medium for that. It's clear to see from the opening of the game, the second you see Midgar, that it's a villain. It's, before you know what the power plants are and anything, all you can see is this horrible, brutal, grey, dark industrial structure with smoke pumping out of it into the atmosphere. So before you even get inside the city, you've got a sense straight away what this place is and how it works in the world, and immediately you see the damage it's causing.
Yeah.
And it's such an amazing way of portraying the themes just with one image. You just look at Midgar and you know straight away what at least some of the themes Final Fantasy VII is going to be exploring. And it's not even like it's like it's like New York or it's this beautifully lit city. It's this dark industrial looking thing, and it's almost like it's the fact that people live in this place is weird because it looks like it's just purely...
Almost like it's designed to not be inhabited.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's designed for one purpose, to like pump all this energy.
Exactly. Everyone who lives there and, treated as people, they're just cogs in the machine. And the machine in this case is sucking the life stream out of the planet.
It is.
To create Mako. It's a perfect change of direction for Square Enix as well, to sort of, obviously with Final Fantasy VII, they wanted to, it was a big push, wasn't it, for them to get the game more accessible in the West.
Yeah, and realistic. It was like going for a more kind of like fantasy sci-fi.
Yeah.
When more of a fantasy. And that it hits home with the first thing that you see, as you say, is Midgar. It's dark, it's gloomy. It's like, this isn't the start of the one that you normally see in a Final Fantasy game.
Exactly. It's not like this, fantasy world like you'd be used to starting in. It is this very, it's obviously its own thing, and it looks sci-fi and looks a bit unrealistic, but it's also really grounded in what we're used to. And I think, particularly us, where we grew up, we had a lot of industrial estates next to us, and it looks like it belongs. It looks like the daddy of all those industrial estates, and industrial estates final boss in it, essentially. So it's cool. You get it tells you so many things just by looking at the exterior of the place, which again, it's just amazing storytelling. I just think it's the peak of what storytelling should be.
Storytelling through environments.
Through the environment, and it's so well thought out.
Yeah, Tetsuya Nomura done quite a lot of it. I'm not sure how many backgrounds he done, but there is that little image that he done of like a dragon in the city when he first figuring out
what it was,
what Midgar should be. But that's the point. Actually, that's a really good point to help with it's a character in its own right. The character concept artist was making concept art for Midgar.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
I mean, it's such a cool, iconic place, isn't it? It's one of the most iconic locations in video games for sure. And it's something that inspired us massively, really, with our story, Surviving Talamh. Surviving Talamh is set inside this pyramidal.
Pyramidic, but pyramidal is good. Yeah. It's all good. Pyramid-shaped city ship.
Yeah. Essentially, and it's a vertical city with different zones, similar similar to Midgar, where you've got the bottom layer of, essentially the slums. People don't live in great conditions there. And then you've got the middle layer, which different to Midgar really is the middle layer is like New York City. It's this amazing, luxurious place that you'd want to live in. But all the people are contained inside this pyramid city, which like you say, is something that we were inspired by from Midgar. This idea of having a vertical city. So in the slums of Final Fantasy VII, they're looking up at a plate essentially. Yeah. I immediately sort of seen that's an amazing way to portray class structure through the people at the bottom are literally at the bottom. Yeah. I think it's such a good way of showing it.
No, I agree, and like they're bringing it into Talamh as well. They're looking up at, I'm not sure how much you want me to go into, but obviously they're looking up at essentially what they're working on.
Yeah.
And it's that kind of thing where you're kind of separated as well from, they go from the slums up to make other people's lives better. That's obviously the ultimate metaphor for how a lot of jobs are these days.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I mean. It inspired us massively, so in Talamh you've got that bottom layer of pretty much everyone in that bottom layer is a construction worker of some kind, and they all work on building luxury homes and apartments for the people on the zone above. That's what everyone's sole purpose in that bottom layer is. Like you say, obviously we took inspiration from the vertical side of it from Midgar, but it's also like I say, it's true to real life. That's why I love Midgar so much. Is it's a perfect visual demonstration of how capitalism functions. Yeah. And it's something that we wanted to put in Talamh with. We were looking at how cities being built. A recent one. How Dubai was built and how it's built by basically immigrants and slaves coming in who don't get afforded the luxury of living in these places. And it's something that we wanted to. It's a theme that I've always been really passionate about myself. I mean, we both grew up in the most deprived area in the UK, on a council estate in technically part of Liverpool, I think.
Technically part of Liverpool. Yeah.
So
before people come for us.
Yeah. So it's something that obviously we know from experience what it's like to sort of come from a poor area, not growing up with a lot of money, and like I say, from Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy VII is the thing that inspired me the most, the piece of art that inspired me the most in life, and that idea of class structure, and it made me more aware. Mm-hmm. And after playing Final Fantasy VII, it made me want to look out more for hang on a minute, how these things look great, these cities, these skyscrapers are amazing, but where are the people who built them? And that's something, like I say, we wanted to. It's a big part of Talamh, really. There's a lot of underlying things going on with it as well that we won't say because we don't want to spoil our own book, obviously. But it goes deeper into that as the story.
I will say though, having obviously having everything kind of blocked off, especially in the slums, it kind of it removes that whole glass ceiling kind of thing. There is no glass ceiling. It's a huge steel.
Yes,
huge steel beam.
You are not getting.
You're not getting through.
Yeah. It's really. I quite like that in storytelling as well, where it's Midgar's not subtle at all. Final Fantasy VII, I think, as a story has a lot of subtle themes to it, but the main themes it tackles, particularly with the environments, with capitalism, it's not subtle at all. It's you play the first hour of Final Fantasy VII. And it's anti-capitalist. It's it's about looking out for the environment. That's something as well with Talamh, where it's clear to see from the artwork, from the structure of the city, that the people running this city do not want you on that other level.
There's no redeeming qualities.
Yeah.
Of anyone involved in the upper echelons or echelons, but anyway, in the upper echelons of Talamh.
Yeah. As you're walking around the slums of Midgar, every sort of section of it is grim. It's gritty looking. It's the whole environment is is just not, like, you don't want to live there, do you? Do you know what I mean? I mean, you know, you might have a laugh, you'd have a great night out in Seventh Heaven. And I think you'd meet amazing people, but it's not a place you want to live. And one of the reasons for that is I don't think people fully realise or appreciate how much your environment does affect you as a person, how it affects your psychology. I was lucky enough to go to a talk a few years back with Stefan Sagmeister, who is one of the greatest graphic designers of all time. He's a legend. And he did this talk in Glasgow about why design and why art is so important, and why beauty basically is so important, and making things look as beautiful as they can be. And he was talking about architecture and how it's changed over the years, and how, mainly for financial reasons, things are built in a different way now. There's less thought that goes into the actual, you know, making it look beautiful. It's let's get these buildings up, let's get people in.
You used to see like buildings with stone columns outside, intricate things carved into them and stuff like that. Obviously it doesn't affect the structure, but does just make it like a spectacle to see. And now, you're right, like you see straight lines,
grey,
mostly windows, but I think that's just to keep people happy so that they can see other people in other buildings.
And it is a thing, and it's like, you know, obviously you understand it from a financial point of view, because it's like, you know, you want to get these buildings up, so you want to provide homes for people, you want to get these businesses up, but it does affect the environment. And Stefan Sagmeister did this amazing talk on it, and he spoke about the difference. They calculated the difference between tweets of people who are in Grand Central Station in New York compared to other stations in New York, and the tweets in Grand Central Station were overwhelmingly positive when people were in that station, and when people were travelling from that station, compared to the negativity of other stations. And it's because Grand Central's an amazing, you know, beautiful looking building. And that's you see that a lot in Midgar, where it's like, it's not just about like, oh, this is an ugly place to live. It actually does affect your psychology. It affects who you are as a person. It affects how you feel about things separate to that, because ultimately it puts you in the mindset of the world's ugly, because you're surrounded by ugliness. You know, in the slums in Midgar, you've literally got scrap metal all over the place. And that's explored particularly well in Remake.
It is.
But in the Sector 7 slums.
One thing to kind of like echo that is, I've noticed in Final Fantasy VII, when you first crash down into the church, there's like kind of a switch where you see the church, there's flowers, it's a bit beautiful. You see Aerith, Cloud thinks she's beautiful. There's that like kind of switch where everything then becomes a little bit more, everything slows down a little bit. Everything's like kind of like, oh, take this in for a little bit. Even though you're surrounded by slums, he's with Aerith. He's in this like lovely church and stuff like that. Unfortunately, it gets interrupted by Reno. Like that's a really good switch where like he's now got beautiful things in his life. We take a little bit longer in that section before we go back to fighting Shinra.
Well, particularly in Remake as well, and that's why I've said it 1,000 times, haven't I, to you, that one of my favourite parts of any story in any medium, whether it be TV, film, games, books, whatever, is that section in Final Fantasy VII Remake where you're with Aerith walking through Sector 5, is it? Sector 6?
5 or 6.
I always get the numbers mixed up. But and you're walking on the rooftops and stuff, and it just slows the game down completely. You've just fought Buster. You've just got an amazing rendition of Fight On, or those who fight further. And then it's just, well, let's just take a minute. And Aerith's a perfect example of what I'm saying about, you know, no one's like her in the slums. You know, she's this ray of light. She's overwhelmingly positive compared to everyone else being negative. And again, think about her environment. You know, she's surrounded by flowers. She's surrounded by beauty. And she then becomes an extension of the beauty she's surrounded by, in the same way people in the slums who are surrounded by scrap metal, surrounded by ugliness, become an extension an extension of that.
Yeah.
And again, that's explored really well in Rebirth and Aerith's flashback actually, where she's trying to get help. Most of the people are just not interested because they're surrounded by ugliness. Your brain becomes, ugly in that way. So how that inspired us with Talamh is set in a post-apocalyptic world, essentially. Post-nuclear Armageddon. Talamh was built to survive, for humanity to survive nuclear war. So unlike Midgar in Final Fantasy VII, the people in Talamh have no choice but to live in there. There's acid rain outside. The environment is just uninhabitable. And that's one thing we took from Final Fantasy VII and Midgar, and like I say, that talk that really inspired me from Stefan Sagmeister was that how deliberately making everything ugly or making it that they've got no beauty. There's nothing there to latch onto in Zone 3 at Talamh. It sort of moves nicely on to the next point as well about how it psychologically affects you. If you're living in the slums of Midgar, you can't reach for the stars when there's a big metallic pizza above your head, can you? Do you know what I mean? It's hard to sort of get in that mindset of like, the world's great and I can get out there and do what I want to do. Whether it's ambition or whether it's just living a happy life, you just don't feel like you're not looking up at the sky.
Yeah.
And now when I sit now, we're just at the time of recording this, it's a lovely day.
It is a very
the weather's just we're in April. The weather's just starting to get nice and it feels good, doesn't it?
It does. It really does.
It feels
especially in Britain.
But it feels so much nicer. But in Midgar, even when it is sunny, you're only getting bits of light coming through, but from around the plate. So.
And that's Final Fantasy VII. In Talamh, when it's sunny,
there's nothing.
No.
Yeah, you wouldn't know. Yeah, so in Talamh, there's no
lighting.
Yeah, there's no outside light at all coming into it. But that's how it affects you psychologically. But then even like you think about the health side of things in Final Fantasy VII as well, of not having access to a decent amount of light. What's the one thing? We live in the UK. What's the one thing
you're supposed to supplement? Constantly. Vitamin D.
And you think about the lack of vitamin D those people are getting as well. So
lack of vitamin D we're getting.
Yeah, we're getting. But it's times 10 when you've got a big a plate above your head that's blocking out all the sun. So
it's not doing wonders for anybody's health.
No.
Yeah, and especially in Talamh. Practically everyone is quite sick.
Yeah, very sick. Very sick.
Everyone's very sick, but they get on with the job. They don't want to make a fuss.
They got no choice.
And that's because it's structured that way.
Yeah, and in Final Fantasy VII, the only time in the slums where there is a bit of light and there's a bit of life is in probably the one place it's least safe to be.
It's dangerous,
which is Wall Market, isn't it? And it's like, and it's almost like that thing of it's like a moth to a flame, isn't it? Where it's like you're going to be drawn to where there is light in the darkness, but you're drawn into this sort of criminal underworld of Wall Market where there's a lot of seedy activity going on. It's like a lawless place, really, isn't it?
Well, it is like the last bastion of escapism.
Yeah,
Midgar.
You bastard. You took my line there. I'm keeping this in. I want everyone to know I came up with that line. I'm the writer. I came up. You stick to your pencils.
I just thought you were never going to say it.
But yeah, it's it's particularly in remake, the way they redid War Market is sensational.
Yeah.
And it is sort of almost, it's so appealing as well, like to sort of want to go there. And like I say, I think that's, intentional as well from the writers to create a world where, Shinra have they haven't made this place, but they facilitated the place. They're happy for it to be, the only place with loads of lights and bright lights that attract you and you want to move towards them is a place where you're going to spend all your money. You're going to get yourself into trouble. You're not going to be able to move up or earn enough money to get out of Midgar or better yourself because you're attracted to this world of gambling and crime, all sorts of stuff going on there. So I don't want to mention everything because I shouldn't have mentioned gambling actually. But I don't want to mention anything because again. It's hard enough starting out making videos as it is.
Get struck off.
Yeah. If I lived in Sector 7, you'd be drawn to Wall Market. Particularly, like I say, in Remake.
I'm drawn to a bright light outside the pub.
Yeah,
Never mind Wall Market.
Yeah. And that's contrasting then to the Shinra building, which, you know, is, if you're in the slums, you're surrounded by scrap metal and just general junkyards and dirt. Whereas you get in the Shinra building, it's high tech, it's all state of the art looking.
Looks very clinical.
Yeah, clinical, that's the one thing I want to say though. The light changes, it's very blue.
Yeah.
You know, it's a very green, Midgar's a very green city, obviously, because of the Maho. But if you go inside the Shinra building, it's very blue and cold. And again, storytelling through the artwork, storytelling through the colour choices of the lighting. You know, it's cold, it's blue, like the people who work there and the people who made it, the people who run the Shinra building, obviously.
Like if you think of Midgar and it's like green hue, as like, you know, like that's Maho energy, that's the live stream, kind of like in its natural state.
Yeah.
And then you see what Shinra's doing with it. It turns this like weird, sickly blue colour. Like they're like, you know, kind of, that's their interference with it, their corruption of the live stream in a way. Yeah. And it can be seen throughout like the entire building, including like all the little vents that like blast Maho energy.
Yeah, it's a lot of blues with the lighting and everything, but a lot of reds as well in the Shinra building too. I mean, you've got the red carpet leading up to red logo, red carpet leading up to President Shinra's desk in his office. I think to be honest, there's a track in the music called Trail of Blood, which is when you're in the cells and Sephiroth's took Genova's head. But I actually think that, you know, you've got red carpets and these red, what are they called? Coming down from drapes, big red drapes in the Shinra building as well. I think that is a symbolism of the trail of blood that Shinra have left behind as well. You know, with the amount of people that they're killing through the wars, but also, you know, they're killing the planet, leaving a trail of blood behind them from the planet with stuff on the live stream. So I think it's all a little clever. Final Fantasy VII's amazing with all its visual imagery, and even in the OG, you think about like the level of technical disadvantages they had at the time, and the way obviously it wasn't photorealistic, anywhere close to photorealistic graphics like it is now. To still be able to tell such a strong story through the pre-rendered backgrounds and through the imagery of all these settings is such a massive testament to how good the artists are, how good the writers are to craft all of that.
Well, that's the thing as well. I'd say that them limitations probably caused a lot of the stuff that we're talking about now. Yeah. Like, you know, we can't show everything. What can we show? Yeah. We can make the colours do the storytelling. Yeah, and everything in every little detail of the image is intentional. If each individual pre-rendered background, every little intricacy is well thought out. Yeah. And again, like we come back to Aerith, we were talking about before, like how Aerith's home with the waterfall and with the flowers and everything, it's to make something look that beautiful for a pre-rendered background from the 90s is unbelievable. And it's, again, you talk about visual storytelling again, it's just it's just the best of the best the way they do it, because at this point, you've been inside Maho reactors, you've been in and around the slums, and then you get to Aerith's house, and it's like, whoa, what's this? This is, and it's hope as well. That's what, you know, the main things Aerith symbolises in the world is hope. It's hope that, you know, things can get better. You know, and you do need that. I think you need that as a player. You need that as a person experiencing the story yourself. And obviously the characters in Final Fantasy VII need that as well. I think Aerith is basically represents nature fighting back against Shinra. You know, these flowers are coming up. Despite everything that's going on around it, the flowers are coming up. And as an extension of that, Aerith's like, no, hang on. I'm gonna, you know, Aerith's attitude is, you know, before she does any fighting or anything like that, Aerith's positivity and Aerith's attitude is an amazing inspiration, I think. And
again, it's because she's an extension of what she's surrounded by, which is waterfalls and flowers and a lot of beauty. It brings me to the opening, a remake as well. One of the things I love so much about the opening of a remake, it adds a little detail that's not in the original.
Yeah.
Which is when Aerith comes out of the alleyway, she's walking, one of her flowers drops on the floor, and someone holding a box, looks like he's doing a delivery man or whatever, steps on the flower. And again, you talk about you're literally a minute into the game, a minute into the opening cutscene, and you get a sense of what the game's about. It's humanity stepping on nature. Yep. Someone steps on a flower. Humanity stepping on nature. That's what it is. And it's just great storytelling through the artwork, and even that camera pan, which is in the original as well. The camera coming out from Aerith up to show the mad scale of
Midgar.
Is again, it's like, this is how far it is out of reach. You know what I mean? This is how far, living a happy life in this world. It's just, you're here and you need to get, it's all the way out of reach. It's unrealistic that you're ever going to live a happy life, or you're going to be able to fight this big Goliath of a company.
And I always remember, ever since playing it as a kid as well, the feeling that you get in Midgar is one of you can't wait to move on.
How do I leave?
I do think Midgar's a fantastic start to the story, but I do feel like it's all very intentionally designed, where after you've been through a few macro reactors and you're through the slums, you're thinking, when can I get out of here? Kind of like the characters. You're like, when can I leave? Essentially. I do think it was bold that Remake decided to do all gameplay in Midgar, knowing that essentially everyone just wants to leave and do other things in lovely backgrounds. But there is always that sense, you need to escape this place. And that's told a lot through Aerith as well. What small things can you do to make this place look like outside? And that's your first glimpse of what the outside can look like. And then when you see that, for me personally, I'm like, I can't wait to see the rest. The rest of the world that's not this vampire that's been sucking the lifeblood out of the planet.
And you need hope as well. That's the thing, and that's what's so good about it. You do leave Midgar, and then you get, oh my god, this world's so vast and it's amazing, and everyone remembers the moment when you're a kid, when you left Midgar. And for me as well, I think most of us as well didn't know, there was more to it. I didn't know there was more to the game when I was young playing it. I thought, this game's entirely set in Midgar, and then you leave it and you're like, whoa, okay, now I'm getting a sense of what we're actually fighting for. And then you connect further, and again, we'll get more into that in other episodes where we talk about locations outside of Midgar. But again, that's great storytelling through artwork, because there's no speech or anything in Final Fantasy VII. It's just go and explore this world and want to fight for it, because the artwork is so amazing. They've done such an amazing job of portraying humanity through all these pre-rendered backgrounds, that you leave Midgar and you're like, right, I want to fight. There's something to fight for it. So that's the storytelling through the artwork of Midgar in Final Fantasy VII. Something that's influenced us massively with Talamh. And
it goes to show that when you treat your setting like a character, you can convey a lot more than you normally would have. That might have had to been dialogue or something like that. We can now just show through the design of the environment, essentially.
And it does do that. Like I said, Midgar does do that so well. You don't need boxes of dialogue of people saying, I'm poor, I'm living a bad life, I'm this is a nightmare.
Show, don't tell.
Exactly. It's a perfect example of that, isn't it? Obviously, talking about environment as well, I think no coincidence that you fight a literal house in Midgar. Midgar as well. Do you know what I mean? I think Hell House is representative of, the place that they're living in is attacking them. Midgar is attacking them. In the same way Midgar is attacking the planet, you've got a hell house attacking human beings. I think little things like that, the writers of Final Fantasy VII are I do the best of the best, I think, for me. The geniuses, do you know what I mean? I don't think there's a single thing in Final Fantasy VII that hasn't been well thought out. That's been a big inspiration for us, for Talamh. And yeah, we're going to do more episodes on this. We're going to do more locations. We're going to do episodes on characters, weapons, battle mechanics as well.
Yeah.
The artwork of the battle mechanics, artwork of weapons, artwork of characters, and how it all tells a story. So if you want to follow our journey and hear more about our influences and why Final Fantasy VII and other stories that have inspired us are so good and how well they tell a story through their artwork, then please subscribe. Hit that subscribe
leave a like and a follow.
Leave a like and a follow. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
And remember to use art as a weapon.